Nadine, Happy New Year. Good to see you.
Thank you, Pete. Nice to see you too. It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. This is crazy. Now I feel like there's more time now to kind of process everything that's happened. Heated rivalry, global success all around the world. Congratulations. How has that
Thank
been
you.
kind of navigating the success of the show so far?
It's only been 5 weeks, but it feels like it's been a year. It's been incredible. Like the show is really around the boys, especially Connor and Hudson, but I'm so happy that François and Robbie are getting their flowers as well. But it's kind of cool. Like the girls are also holding it down, and it's just nice to see like the whole show. Jacob Tierney is a genius, and I'm so delighted that the world gets to see that.
Absolutely. And it's interesting too, right? Because that kind of like that tag team, that tug of war with something that was based on books is very interesting, right? Because you're going to try to, pay homage and justify the books as much as you can. But at the end of the day, this is the show on Crave, right? This is the show on HBO Max. It's not the books. Yeah. What was that like for you in those conversations with Jacob about like what's going to be in the books, what's not, what's going to be in the show that was in the books, like what's going to be new? What was that like for you specifically?
Well, I know that Rachel was very integral in the construction of the show. So I think the fans knew that they were in good hands with Jacob, and he was always going to make sure that everyone was taken care of character-wise. Yep. I'll be honest, but when I got cast, I had not read the books. So I didn't know what to expect, but Jacob, he called me and he goes, I wrote a part for you in this new show. And I said, Jacob, I don't care what it is. I'll do anything you ask me to do. And it's nice because he's like, I just kind of really want you to be yourself, which when I read the scripts and then I read a bit about Elena from the books, I'm like, oh, wow. Like, this is just like a girl, a best friend. And I really relate to that.
No, absolutely. I do find it interesting anytime there's a TV show or a film, Nadine, that has to do with, a sport or with music or something. It's interesting because you could look at it as two things, right? You could look at it as like, is Heated Rivalry a hockey show that has a romance in it? Is it a romance show with drama that's about hockey? What's that like for you specifically? Like, is it a bit of both? Like, it's interesting to think about, right?
Yeah, I think it's a romance, the love story with hockey elements for sure. I also think, there are so many ways of portraying romance. I think we have the will they, won't they, we have yearning, and I do say so myself, a little bit of best friend romance. Yeah. Making sure that your best friends are loved and taken care of. So I would say it's a romance with hockey elements. Absolutely. And comedic elements too. Like, even Connor and Hudson, like the tension between them sometimes makes you giggle because it's so packed with feelings. And I would say there's like a lot of every episode, because Jacob is so funny, has comedy in it too.
100%. And not the first time you work with Jacob. You were in Letterkenny.
Yeah.
I think that was the first time we spoke was about Letterkenny.
100%. Sure. Yeah, a couple years ago. Yeah.
So that's interesting to think about. But I also think it's interesting too, right? Because I know and it's interesting because I know you're also creative as well, right? You're not just an actor. And, I know you try not to think about this from an acting perspective because when you're acting, you're Elena, right? You're focusing on the character. But there are all these big moments, with, Scott and Kip and everything and your character that people are like losing their minds about online right now. Are there ever situations where you're thinking about the audience while you're making and filming Heated Rivalry, or like, oh, wow, people are going to freak out about this? Or does that happen afterwards?
I naively did not know the extent of the fandom. I wasn't thinking about the audience at all. Yeah, it came as a shock to me when I realized how extensive this fandom is.
It's interesting, right? Because, these are scenes, like you said in the beginning of the interview, about the hockey players and everything, but it's like the characters like Elena, like the ally component of it is what's really, I think, shining and everything. So with that said, like, we know a season 2 is going to like happen, but like, what do you expect, or like, what do you hope like could happen with Elena, so to speak? We know the books, right? And everything, but it's exciting to think about all the possibilities, right? For a season 2.
Totally. I love to see best friendship portrayed on TV. I think it's an underrated love story. But yeah, I don't know. Jacob and Rachel know what's going on, and Brendan Brady, his Jacob's producing partner, who I adore, who I also met on Letterkenny, they've got a plan, and I am, just going to sit back and hope that they include me, but because I know that the fans love #skip.
Yeah.
I am part of that storyline. So, I mean, I would love to go back to the Kingfisher. I would love to. Elena used to have an apartment that is written in the books and was written in some of the original drafts. So I would love to like go home with Elena, see Elena and Kip like in private. I think that would be really nice.
Yeah.
And I'll say I want to get back to the Kingfisher crew because some other great friends were on that show.
Absolutely. It's interesting too, because in the beginning of this interview you talked about how it's only been a couple of weeks and everything, but it's like global. When did you really start noticing the global kind of like success and reach of this? Was it like was the first couple of days? I noticed it first couple of days on my end.
Yeah, I would say like, so they had the Montreal premiere,
Yes.
and then the next day they had Toronto, and I went to the Toronto one, and I remember asking Brendan Brady, did any fans show up to the Montreal one? He said 700 fans were waiting to go in. And I was like, that's kind of crazy for a show that's never aired. And then a bunch of them had seen the Toronto one as well. And I remember because we had the premiere at the Bell Light Box. Yep. I don't think it's called that anymore, but anyway, at TIFF.
Yep.
And I was going up the escalator, and there was a little pocket of fans who were like, "Are you playing Elena?" Which is crazy because no one knew that storyline was even going to be included. So it was kind of amazing that they even knew. And so I was like, okay, there's got a shine on this show that is unlike anything I've ever seen. And then I think it was the day after when so much press came out, and we're Canadians, we barely get press for anything.
Yeah.
The press of it all was so significant to me. And I'm also a creator, and I know how hard it is to promote and to market a show. So the sort of built-in marketing, I was like, wow, this is going to be something.
A great creator as well, by the way. I just wanted to say
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I think, it's interesting, right? Because I feel like, for a lot of us creators, it started the same way, right? Like we watched these TV shows and movies when we were younger, and we were like, I want to do this. I want to be involved, right? Do you feel, because I'm feeling like that a little bit now too, because I'm like making films as well. Do you feel like you watch things differently now that you know how it's being made? Like that's something I've been thinking about a lot lately.
For sure. I think like from a young age, I was like very interested in the BTS of it all. Like I really needed to know how things were getting done. When I was 19, I did a year at Ryerson in the radio and television program, and I learned how to operate like the tri-camera because I loved multicam so much.
Yep.
And so now that I get to work in film and TV, especially TV, and like especially as a writer and producer, I'm like way too aware of like budget and what you can hire people for and when and la la la. But yeah, I guess yes, it's interesting knowing what goes on behind the scenes, because things that you see on TV, people will come up with a million stories about why something is the way it's something, and you're just kind of like, nope, that's what cleared.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you feel like there is this kind of like, understanding that being a creative is wearing a lot of hats in the early stages, like going in front of the camera, behind the camera? I mean, Jacob Tierney was an actor, now he's a showrunner, creator. Do you feel like when you started out, there was this idea that you were going to do a lot of things, or were you just focused on one creative kind of media? Like maybe you just wanted to act, maybe you wanted to write. Like what was that like for you in the early stages?
Well, I'm definitely a glutton for work. I always want to do everything. Yeah. I was just writing on a show called Slow Pitch that will also air on Crave in the spring. And I was so delighted that those two creators, Knox and Gwen Cummin, wanted me to come in and also play a part. And so it's like fun to come in and do a bunch of different things. And the producing part I don't love, but it does help get things done. So it's like, I just accept that you're going to wear 3 hats if you're making something, especially in Canada.
Producing is problem solving. That's really all it is.
You're being a firefighter.
Absolutely. Yeah, Slow Pitch, another show that, again, has sports in it. You know what I mean?
Sports.
Softball, but has a lot of other elements too.
Gay sports are going to heal the world.
Oh, absolutely. No, that's that's for sure. And yeah, I'm so happy for you. Congratulations.
Thank you so
I know
much.
how hard you work on all this. So it's
Oh,
so
that's so nice. Thanks,
amazing to
Pete.
see your success. Yeah, season 1 of, Heated Rivalry is available on Crave in Canada and
HBO Max in the
HBO Max
States.
in the US,
And
which is amazing. And
yeah.
There's going to be a season 2, and we'll get a season 2 when we get a season 2. That's all we can say right now. But
Yeah, he's got to take his time. It's got to cook. Got to marinate.
He has to cook. Nadine, so great seeing you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Pete. It's been a pleasure.
Your Instagram account is just your name if people want to keep up to date with everything, right?
At Nadine Bubs.
Yeah.
Bhabs. My last name is Bhabha. It confuses people, but at Nadine Bubs.
But if they put Nadine Bhabha, they'll also
they'll find me. They'll find me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, this has been PopTurn. YouTube.com/PopTurn for previous episodes. Until next time, this is Nadine Bhabha, who plays Elena in Heated Rivalry. Until next time, this is Nadine and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to PopTurnative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of PopTurnative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.